Hello. Hey, what's up, Jet? No, I'm on my way to the tower right now. Oh. What do you mean? A little light? Not a lot of people in the tower? A lot of nerd vengers called and said they're not able to watch the movie until later? Well, I guess that makes sense. It just opened last night. Well, it's too late to change the stream now. Because I'm fucking live. I'm live right now. This is on you. I'm going to deduct this out of your quarter-a-day payment. And I don't want to hear another word about it. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'll see you soon. What's up? What's up, Nerd Vengers? Friday morning. Coming on in. Eternals. Yeah, I saw it. Did you see it? Some of you probably did. So we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Full spoiler discussion about Eternals today. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad. We're going to talk about the ugly. We're going to talk about the lore. We're going to talk about the post-credit scenes. Oh, man. We're going to talk a lot about it. Overall, I would say I liked the movie. Actually. I walked away with a really good feeling from the movie. The third act is pretty wonky for me, and there's some things that I think they could have changed to make it better. But overall, the MCU as a thing is improved because of the existence of this movie, and there's a lot of fun stuff that they did in the film. So we're going to get into that. We're going to break down the spoilers, get into it. Gambling should be on. Let me know, you fiends, if the gambling is on, and hopefully, I think we'll still be able to do some calls later on in the show. Would love to have some people call into the program, and we can maybe discuss Eternals a little bit together. It's going to be a good day. It's been a great week. So let's finish it off strong, and let's get into talking about the Eternals. I'm pulling in. I'm pulling into the tower. I'll see you soon. That's just the camera. That's just the camera. That's just the camera. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Friday stream. Man, it's been a good week. I just reset the gambling. So double check it. Make sure it's doing the thing. If it's not doing the thing, I'll reset it again. Hopefully that will fix it up. So I'll keep an eye on the chat. Dr. Cool. Diamonds. Got your 6-month badge. Take my money. Dang, bro. Thank you so much for the support. 6 freaking months. Holy cow. And we will be having a... See you later, Stevie. Dude, I'm sorry. Chet should have explained to me that a lot of people hadn't seen it yet, Steve. So, it's on him. I apologize. I'll see you maybe on Monday. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. When we do the cartoon thing, which I do have to put the poll up still because I'm terrible and didn't put that up there. So... just so everybody knows, we will be doing another watch party tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. in the morning. We're watching cartoons. Cartoons, man. We're going to watch some cartoons together, Saturday morning cartoon style. Probably go for a couple of hours tomorrow. I have a Boba Fett video dropping later. I've got an Eternals ending post-credit scene explainer video dropping with some theories of where it could all be going. I have a lot to say about Eternals, but I'm also really interested in what you guys have to say about Eternals as well. It's a lot of movie. It is a lot of movie, and it's a lot of lore, a lot of recontextualizing the MCU, a lot of cool setups for the future. So I am very interested to have this discussion with all of you. And then I'm sure we'll be talking about it more in other streams and whatnot next week and moving forward. The big discussion on Monday will likely be, how did the movie perform? How did it perform? Financially speaking, how did it do? So we'll have to check that out, and we shall see. So next week, by the way, going to be a massive week for the channel. Huge stream on Friday, next Friday. Oh, that's awesome, Kendall. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. It would be behoove you to do a 2-hour and 45-minute stream so I can come back when it's all over. Man, I don't know if we'll be able to do that, but I appreciate you, brother, and I hope you have a good time with the movie. I had a really good time with the film. Okay, so a lot of fun stuff happening next week, and yeah, man, it's just been a wild week here at the channel, here at the Nerdvengers Tower. A lot of exciting stuff going on. Okay, so let me first kind of talk about the movie and talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, some of the things that I was sleeping on, some of the things that I was thinking about, and, you know, we can sort of just go into a conversation about this, and then we'll talk, like, the spoilers, the recontextualization, and all of that, right? So, first of all, let's do a little poll. How did you like Eternals? And we'll say, loved it, liked it, meh, and hated it. See what you guys think. Pretty interested to see what you guys think about it. So, at first, when I first, was absorbing the movie, the text base at the beginning of the film is really interesting. Like, I'm not exactly sure how to take that. Like, it feels like the film is just directly trying to tell me what happened in the MCU. But because it's not a diegetic piece of the movie, like, meaning it's not something that's explained by a character or something that's seen by a character in, like, a readout or something like that, I'm really not sure how to take it. It feels pretty definitive, okay? And with it being definitive, that's very interesting. It changes some things, okay? It changes some things, and I think it puts the the Celestials in a really interesting place within the MCU canon, okay? So they're creating galaxies, creating the whole universe, and that to me feels like a little bit of blending the Eternals from the comic books with a little bit of the Beyonders from the comic books, because as far as I understand it, and to be honest with you, it's not like I'm super well read on like the Celestials and what the Celestials do, but I was under the impression that the Celestials went around and experimented on Earth and other planets and judged them harshly, or just judged them in general. And they did have obviously insane cosmic ability, and they did wipe planets out and do things like that. But I don't know that it was established in Marvel Comics that they created the entire universe and that they were really responsible for sort of, culling or doing maintenance on the entire Marvel universe. So that's pretty wild. You know what I mean? Like, that is a very big statement made by the film. It's like, here it is, here's what they are. It's pretty wild. Okay? So coming in from that point, right? I feel like the movie actually did a really good job of taking us through the minds and the perspectives of these different characters. I think the Icarus moment at the very, very beginning of the movie is actually a really nice anchor point for that character, because Cersei is looking out at Earth. This is their new planet, right? This is what this is their mission, Earth. Cersei's looking out at Earth, and she's like, dude, this is beautiful, isn't it? And you notice that he is actually just looking at her, okay? So, meaning, like, there's a nice juxtaposition there of their two sort of base motivating factors. There's something about Earth. She loves it. She's really attached to it almost immediately, right? And he is attached to her. So that's kind of a very interesting visual way to do that. I liked it. I liked the weirdness of the characters, right? Like, I liked the weirdness of the characters and how you do kind of get a sense that they are, rather robotic, or like, almost like adolescent, you know what I mean? In their development, which was really, really interesting, okay? The only issue I had at the very beginning of the movie was the stuff with Kit Harington and Cersei, and I don't know, there's something about the sequencing there, and then like how the deviants just jump in right away. I don't know, it's just a little clanky, and to be honest with you, like after that first little bit with him, I was like, oh no, there was a part of me that was like, dude, is this what all the critics were talking about? Is this going to be a major issue? Am I not going to be able to enjoy this film because of like pacing issues and because of, just sloppy execution on scenes? Much to my surprise, the next hour and a half to 2 hours of the movie, I thought were fantastic. I was shocked at how much I absolutely loved the characters themselves, but how they're established throughout history, the cutting back and forth between, the present day and the past. It's really well layered. I feel like you get a lot out of a little bit. Like, you get to know these characters, I think, fairly well with a little bit of time spent on each one of them and their different connections, the way they view the world, the way they view humanity. I was really surprised. Okay, so I kind of went from initially being a little bit worried after the Dane Whitman stuff to essentially being like, dude, this is fire. Like, this is fire. This is really good. I'm really enjoying how this is all being pulled together. And I thought the action was incredible. The visual effects were stunning. The action sequence in the village with Druig, I thought was fantastic. I loved what they did with Thena, with her like having these other memories, and like Ajax kind of knows what it is. And it's sort of established, more or less right away when she has the conversation with Arisham. Is that how you say his name? Arisham? That she sees something different with Earth. There's something about humanity. There's something about Earth that's different. And she actually first broaches the idea of, I feel like we should maybe save this planet as compared to all the other ones, okay? It is sort of teased out and revealed like pretty early on, I'd say, what's going on with the movie. Now, if you were following the leaks and people like me, you were probably following the leaks and you already understood this whole robot twist, the whole twist of them Arisham, yeah. Like that whole concept was already in our brains. Like we already knew that was going on. They actually don't really make it, in my opinion, that big of a reveal. It's sort of there in your face almost right away, and then eventually it just gets dropped on you. Now, I will say, the scene with Cersei, where Arisham is like explaining everything to her, like, damn, that is an info dump. Like, damn, that is a big old pile of exposition. Very interesting that they chose to do that. You know what I mean? Like, they were just like, we're gonna explain it all. And to me, I thought it was really funny how willing the Celestial was to like continue to like cater to her curiosity and keep telling her stuff and showing the World Forge and showing, her other memories and showing all this really interesting stuff. And then it's placed at a really weird place in the movie. I didn't hate this part of it. I actually like kind of dug it, to be honest with you. Because it's like they're not even done getting everybody together. Like they're not even done getting everybody together, and they're set in this existential crisis. It's pretty fascinating. And they're trying to get everybody together, and you're still sort of wrapping your head around what this means. It's pretty freaking interesting, the way that it all goes down. So I found myself really, really enjoying what the movie had to offer pretty much right up until they all get together on the ship. Like after they get Phastos and they go to the ship to like start to actually formulate the plan, and the speedster's already there and everything like that. At that point, to me, like it's just really weird, man. I feel like the movie, like there's a fissure in the film, and from that point on, it's like really, really sloppy. So, to be honest with you, like I was thinking about this last night, right? Where I was like, dude, I don't envy these reviewers at all, because coming out of the movie, there's so much going on. There's so much going on in your head. There's so much to explore. There's so much to think about. So much was thrown at you, right? And it's really hard, I think, to formulate an opinion about this movie, considering how good some parts of it are, how well it executes, in my opinion, in the first 2/3 of the film, and then really and truly how sloppy the ending of the movie is. It almost feels like, and I don't know that this is the case, right? But what I was kind of feeling as I thought about it was, it almost feels like the first 2/3 of the film were really like Chloe being able to tell this story in the weirdest, craziest way possible, and yet it just works cinematically. Like, it really comes together, it plays together really nicely. And then the third act was, let's throw all the Marvel shit we need to throw into this movie, while also, I feel like the third act of the movie is Chloe trying to fight for all of the character moments that she wants to have in there, all of the like sort of bring it home moments, foundational moments for these characters, while Feige's also like, but you got to set up this, you got to set up this, you got to have this, you got to have that, we got to do this. It feels like they decided to throw all of that in to the third act, and to me, it's very sloppy. Like, it's really, really sloppy. I talked about this in my reaction video yesterday. But essentially, the whole pacing of it, and I'm talking about every single element of it, is executed in a sloppy way. So it feels like the character beats, like Thena giving the speech to Cersei, feels weird, out of place, forced. You know what I mean? The fight itself and the conflict between Icarus and the rest of the Eternals, weird, forced, sloppy. You know? The deviant that just pops up on the beach and fights them a little bit and then goes into the cave to get slaughtered by Thena. Weird, forced, sloppy. You know? Cersei, the mind meld, all of that stuff. Weird, forced, sloppy. Even the beats between characters that were even like really great beforehand feel weird, forced, and sloppy to me. It just feels really goobly globby at the end of the movie. And then ultimately, the sort of push-pull thing that they're doing, where it's like Icarus goes, like they're all there, Icarus leaves, has a moment outside, has a moment with Kingo, you know, and then comes back in and it's like, I've let this go on long enough. It's like so weird. It's weirdly paced. But then he doesn't even stop them. He doesn't kill them. He doesn't do anything. He's just like, I will stop you, and then leaves. What? Weird. The fight itself, like, we're doing it. This is our plan. Oh, it's not going to be our plan. I can't do this. Oh, but I can do this. Icarus then can't, Icarus is stopped, but then he can't be stopped. And then he goes to Cersei and they have that moment. Then he decides to mind meld. It's like weird. You know what I mean? And then ultimately, I think one of the worst parts of the ending, which is tragic because I know it's important for what Marvel looks to be doing, but I think one of the worst parts of the ending is that you have this ending and then the Celestial dude just shows up at Earth, which to me sort of breaks some of the stakes. It breaks some of the, I don't know. It's just, it's weird. It doesn't feel right that he can just show up to Earth. Everybody can just see him. He can grab the Celestials from Earth. He's going to use their memories to judge Earth. But he's like, but hold up. I'll be back. You know, chill, like, I'm here. And I'm grabbing you up. But I'll be back, though. You know what I mean? I left the stove on in the other universe. I'll be back. I know, maybe you don't agree. But to me, I think it is functionally bad, the third act. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a really weird mixed bag for me. There were some things I went into the movies thinking, oh, I will probably like this. Oh, I will probably not like this. And my expectations were sort of turned on their head. Like, for instance, Kingo, right? I thought I would not like Kingo as a character. He's hilarious. And he works. He works as a character. I think it's very functional as a character, and the chemistry between a lot of these Eternals was great. I think Thena and Gilgamesh, awesome. Druig and Makari, I think that's her name. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, great. To be honest with you, Fastos was a little cringe for me. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's weird because I feel like he's honestly good in a lot of parts of the movie, but especially in the third act when they get together on the ship, his like dialogue and the way he approaches things and everything like that, I don't know. It was a little cringe for me. But overall, very satisfied with the ensemble cast. I was very satisfied with all of their arcs, motivations. It's really well layered. To me, it just, and it doesn't make me not like the movie, but to be honest with you, it does make me understand why a lot of critics did not like it, right? Because I really and truly feel it's a fantastic ride. It's a fantastic ride with a lot of great stuff established, and then a really poorly executed third act. Okay, so that's sort of my my overall take on the film. I actually do want to see it again, and I'm actually think I'm gonna love it when I watch it again. You know what I mean? Because I'll be able to really dig into the parts that I think are fascinating. Mostly like the digital effects, the sound design, the action, and the first 2/3 of the film. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what I mean? But then that third act, for me personally, and I know some of you, you know, obviously all of you have your own opinions, but in my opinion, that third act is real bad. Like, I'm actually shocked that Marvel Studios, which is normally really good at just doing functionally, you know, like, here's the thing. Ultimately, I would have liked, and I think the movie would be better, if they would have reverted back to, like, let's keep it simple at the end of the film. There's just way too much going on, way too much they're trying to bring home, and it's too, like, oh, we're doing this, right? So it is a little surprising to me that they didn't clean it up, that they didn't clean up that third act, and I'm kind of curious as to why. You know what I mean? So there's that going on. Now, as far as some of the fun spoiler stuff going on in the film, and let's check the poll. And we'll do super chats in a little bit here as well, but let's check the poll. So this is actually great. If you look at this, it looks like about 78% of the people voted on the poll either liked it or loved it. Okay, so liked it is beating loved it just by a little bit. But to be honest with you, that's about what I'm seeing out there online. I would say 80% of Marvel fans really like the movie, which is great. That's great. You know, when you have a critically divisive film, and that's just facts, right? I mean, it's the first rotten scored MCU movie ever, right? So, like, that's just facts. Like, you may say, like, oh, I disagree with that or whatever. Regardless, it is a fact. So for a movie like that, the test and the interesting part will always be, well, what do the fans think? You know, how do the fans react to this film? What do the Marvel fans think about the movie? The movie's not really made for the critics, right? It's made for the fans. And it does look like, and it's early, we're going to have to see how the weekend goes, see how the box office is, watch the social media chatter, etc., etc. But it does look as though the vast majority of Marvel fans like the movie. You know what I mean? They do. And that's great because, again, I like the movie. I liked it. So, so interesting tale on that. But now I want to ask a different question in the poll. Does this movie hurt Thanos as a character? Yes or no? I want to know what you think. Better than Venom 2. You know what's funny about that, Ryan? Here's what I think about that. I think it's a better movie than Venom 2. But I can totally understand why Venom has a better critical score, because Venom 2 is at least consistent. It tells you what it's going to be, it sets up what it's going to be, and then it's what it says it is for the whole movie. It's consistent. As a film, it functions better than Eternals. I think Eternals is better because it's just way more beautiful, way more involved, has way more depth of character, way more depth of story. But bro, that third act is a real crazy sort of thing in the movie. Venom 2 is literally a more consistent film than Eternals. I know some people might freak. I know that there might be a riot. And by the way, what the hell's up with the likes? Look, I get it. Everybody thinks I'm whining. And by the way, did you know I went to film school? Yeah, I'm going to say that a couple more times. I went to film school. Now, does that mean my opinion is ultimately more valid than yours? Yes! Yes! That's the point! Shut your mouth and click the like button. Go into grandma's room, slap her up a couple times, grab her iPod, grab her iPhone, grab her burner phone where she's going to get her other, stuff or whatever, recreational, etc., and smash the like button. Go into your sister's room, drop kick her down the steps, go back down the steps, pick up her iPhone that she clutched with the grip of death, and then like the stream on her account too. Don't even get me started. Anyway. Okay. By the way, I went to film school. Venom 2 over Eternals? Wow, man. What is with you this morning? Bro! The fuck, bro? I literally just said what I said. I said Eternals is a better movie. Venom 2 is a more consistent film. It is more unified. It has a better, consistent tone. Do you understand? Yeah. Anyways. Stormy. Yeah, Venom 2 is shit, but it's consistent shit. It's a consistent stool, you know? It doesn't start really firm and then get really mushy and liquid at the end. Okay, anyway. Clip that up. Okay. So, many of you say in this poll here that no, this movie did not hurt Thanos as a character. All right, now we might diverge a little bit into a situation where we may not agree. By the way, that's okay. I can't help but feel that Thanos, after, being the big bad, the whole kit and caboodle, carrying the two most profitable MCU movies ever, a culmination of the Infinity Saga, being this amazing ambassador for Marvel and what they're able to do, I can't help but think that since he died, they've been taking some shots. They've been taking a little bit of the respect away from Thanos. I feel like What If did this a little bit. I feel like the Loki series did this a little bit. And I feel like Eternals does this a little bit. I feel like there's a grand conspiracy here to make Thanos the Luke Skywalker of Marvel. Meaning, he's the one that took us to the dance. But he's not the one they want to dance with anymore. But everybody knows. You dance with who brought you. Thanos brought us here. I just don't like the subtle shots, the subtle disrespect. Put some respect on his name. I'm not mad about the idea of him being an Eternal. But maybe just a little bit I am. You know what I mean? Like, look, they're recontextualizing everything. What the fuck's up with Titan? Like, what's up with Titan? So you're telling me, was Titan the planet that Thanos was assigned to as an Eternal? Like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. He has a deviant gene. So is he Eternal that's partially real? Is he a robot that's partially real? Like, what the hell? Why didn't he turn all purple and whatever, like Ajax and all them, after he got beheaded? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just have some questions. Okay, second generation Eternal? Well, I'm sorry, where's that established? Where'd they put that in the movie? Where'd they say that, huh? Did I miss something? You know what I mean? I guarantee they answer your question. Well, they better had, Brian. Because I went to film school. And I'm furious. So if I'm being honest, the Thanos thing is a little confusing to me. I'm like, okay. And it's hinted, it is implied slightly, a little bit, maybe, kind of, sort of, by Ajax, that that his plan was to slow down the emergence. That his whole game plan of wiping out half of the life in the universe is based on the Celestials programming and what they're going to be doing. Hey, that's cool. That's kind of fun. But why didn't they like explicitly explain that then? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't they I just feel like that's like, you know, Thanos is out there, he's just killing half the life of the universe. He's just, you know, coming in with the armor, slaying motherfuckers, like doing all this and all that, right? You think he would have mentioned one time? Like, just one time? Just so you know, I'm actually trying to save billions of lives because the Celestials are really running the show and they've taken over everything, they control everything, and they've planted eggs and they're harvesting human life or the life of all of these beings to create just more Eternals. It's kind of messed up. By the way, I'm a robot. Also, a little interesting. How the fuck did Star-Lord T'Challa talk Thanos out of it if the whole thing was the Celestials? What? So to me, I'm just a little, I'm a little divided. On what they're doing with Thanos, what they're doing with the Eternals in the future. What was the deal with Titan? How did he have a father, Alars? Like, what's the deal with that? You know what I mean? Pretty Nikki says, I don't need these things explained. Well, that's good. That's good. It's okay. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. I'm over here with my whiteboard, with my red yarn, with all of the pictures, and I don't know what to do with myself. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do with myself. Oh, Quentin, you answered this in your super chat? Well, we'll get into all that in just a second. Olympia didn't exist, but Titan does. Interesting. Okay, so we have that settled. We're all on the same page. Good job, everybody. Okay, we'll end that poll. Good. It's good that we're all. He did say it was efficient. Shit. Yeah, fair. So cool. I'm glad we're all on the same page about that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fun. Hopefully we get more of an explanation for that. I am actually kind of intrigued on Star Fox, Pip the Troll, and all that sort of stuff, right? So Star Fox, at the end, we're jumping into the post-credit scenes now, okay? So Star Fox and Pip the Troll pop up using some kind of Rainbow Bridge-esque magic to teleport in to the ship. Star Fox is revealed to be the brother of Thanos. He also has an eternal dilly-dally, and he can, like, read it. And he knows that their friends are in trouble, and that he knows where they are. Okay? Is this the World Forge? Are they going to go to the World Forge? I guess one of the things that I have a slight concern of here is, like, is Aramis lying? Is he not saying the full truth of, like, what the Eternals actually are, or what they're doing with the Deviants, what the Celestials' true purpose is, etc., etc.? I think that's totally possible, and it could be really fun if there was something missing that, like, we learn more about, and it's really, like, mind-blowing and crazy and stuff like that, right? But my only issue with that is, like, that beginning statement for the film is non-diegetic. It is meant to just explain and tell us the truth, and so it'll be really weird for me. I know. Is this something that's super petty and super small and I shouldn't be concerned about? Maybe. But it's just bugging me, man. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm like, what's the deal? What's the deal with the Celestials? What's the deal? You know? So, a fun little tease, definitely implying a bunch of stuff for the MCU moving forward, and a lot of really interesting things to come, I'm sure. I thought Harry Styles was cool. Who do you guys think was voicing Pip the Troll? Who do you guys think was voicing Pip the Troll? To me, it sounded like the dude that played MODOK in the Patton Oswalt. Yeah, it sounded like Patton Oswalt. It sounded like Patton Oswalt to me. Oh, look, a lot of you guys say so too. Yeah, I think it's Patton. By the way, if you had any doubts that he would not be doing MODOK in the MCU, yeah, that should help expel those doubts for you. It's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's going to be MODOK in the MCU, which is dope. Let's talk about the next post-credit scene. Then I want to talk a little bit about my overall theory about cosmic energy and what it means in the MCU, right? And we're going to say some Secret Wars. That's right. We're going to say Secret Wars. Okay. Second post-credit scene. It's Blade. 100% it's Blade. I felt like it was Blade right away. It was Mahershala Ali right away. Awesome to see, by the way. Or I guess here. It's Mahershala. Chloe even said recently, yeah, it's Blade. She admitted. She's like, yeah, it's Blade. Mm-hmm. New No Way Home TV spot just dropped. Somehow I doubt it. But maybe. Maybe. Confirm or deny. Tell me if that's real or not. Tell me if it's real. So to me, I thought it was obviously Blade. And then, Chloe confirmed that it was Blade, okay? Now, what that means is really cool. It's on the direct. I'm gonna check it out, but I don't think so, man. I don't think it's real. Maybe it is. A new TV spot. Okay, so it's like, yeah, it's got a brief glimpse of some new footage. We can check that out in a second. Cool. So it is real. Oh, you can't even watch it? Oh, it's a German TV spot. Okay. Regardless. So, that what that implies is that Blade has a big to-do with the MCU moving forward. Blade is likely to be the sort of Nick Fury of Midnight Suns, and that he's going to be putting together this team. I think that's what is implied there, and, slight spoiler for the Moon Knight series. It is being reported that Mahershala Ali's Blade will be in the Moon Knight series. We just got confirmation of the gentleman that's going to play Werewolf by Night in the MCU. And this is all starting to fit together, man. Possibility of Punisher being in Moon Knight. Possibility of Blade being in Moon Knight. Possibility of Dracula being in Moon Knight. Really wild. The supernatural side of the MCU is about to be dope, bro. And I love the idea of Mahershala Ali being involved in all of that, and them taking an actor of his caliber and a very fun character from the comics and sort of elevating him and being like, dude, what if Blade was the guy in charge of Midnight Suns? You know? And it's a little, we're taking a little bit of a leap here, but why else would he pop up? You know what I mean? Why else would he pop up there with Dane Whitman and the Ebony Blade? I think it's pretty safe to assume that Blade and Mahershala is going to be getting the band together, as it were, for Midnight Suns. And that's dope. And that is dope. And that does mean likely, as Stormy is pointing out, that Black Knight will likely be in Midnight Suns as well, which is super cool. It's super cool. I'm excited about it. And overall, like I said, even though I had some problems with the movie, I like the film, and I think it sets the MCU in a very interesting place. Now, what I think is really weird is some of the producers and some of the people from Marvel are talking about the multiverse coming out of this movie. Did I miss something in the film? Is it implied that the Celestials create the entire multiverse? Is that something that's implied in the movie? Perhaps that's something that I'm just not fully appreciating or not fully understanding, because I'm not sure about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure about that. I do think, though, it sets up, here's the real thing that's crazy. The technology that Phastos is using, especially in the final fight, to me, it looks so much like the 10 rings that I was like, oh, it's obvious that the 10 rings are something like celestial technology or some kind of technology associated with the Eternals, the cosmic side of the MCU. Right? To me, they look very much like the 10 rings, so much so that there's even weird parallels between when he has his father, chained down in Shang-Chi, and then he has, Phastos has Icarus chained down. So I was like, damn, like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's real sweet. You know what I mean? Like, I really like that, and I like where it's all headed. It'll be interesting to see if Galactus going around to absorb planets, not just to absorb their cosmic energy, but is he absorbing the energy of the Celestials? Has Galactus figured out a way to suck out the juice of like a hard-boiled celestial egg? And he goes around the galaxy and he's like, this looks like a good one. Sucks out the juice. I don't know. It's cool, man. There's some really cool possible things coming. And my theory on the fact that science and magic are the same thing. Really. Science and magic are the same thing ultimately. And this idea of that, like, super advanced technology and super advanced science coming from the same place, It's pretty wild. So I think there's a big macro plan with how this is all going to tie together. I do think it's going to eventually take us into a multiversal war / secret wars. It'll be interesting to see. Are they going to replace the Beyonders with the Celestials? To be honest with you, even though I wouldn't love that, it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? It would kind of be a good through line for Marvel audiences, for sort of MCU normies, because about the Celestials, the Infinity Stones and the Celestials, before creation, you know what I mean? All this sort of stuff. It actually could make sense that's what they are. But to me, like, one of the coolest parts of, like, the Beyonders, especially in the end of the Hickman comic book run that leads into Secret Wars, is when you see that there's dead Celestials. When the cosmic entities, the Celestials, and the, not the one above all, but the, what's the three-headed dude? The four-headed dude? Living Tribunal. That even the Living Tribunal gets sliced and diced up by the Beyonders. Like, that could be cool. You know what I mean? That could be really fun. So, there's a lot of fun stuff. I'm excited about where this is all heading. I think that when I watch it again, I'll be really interested in, like, taking down the notes and listening very carefully to every little piece of exposition, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff in this movie. You know what I mean? I like the movie. I like the movie. So it's cool. All right, let's get into some super chats. Let's see what everybody's angrily yelling at me in the super chats about. So we'll go over the super chats. Then we're going to save a little bit of time to do a little bit of call-ins. If you are a Nerdvenger member, hang out at the end of the show. We'll do a call-in portion of the show. Keep your gambling going on. Guys, we have so many fun items dropping in the Nerdcoin store, but I have to drop them next week. I'm behind today. I've got a lot of stuff I want to try to take care of. I can't do any drops today, but we've got so much fun stuff, man. We've got Magneto figures. We've got a King Killmonger What If Funko Pop. We've got DC stuff. We've got a Baby Groot. We've got a friggin' Jar Jar plushie thing that talks to you. We've got a ton of fun stuff dropping on the Nerdcoin store for you guys next week. I do want to say before we get into the Q&A that this stream and all the streams over here at Nerdvengers Tower are brought to you by the Nerdvengers, the people in the chat with the badge next to their name. They're amazing. The best online community in the world. They stick with me even though I come out and say, hey, I like this, and then crap on it for a while, and then I'm like, but again, I liked it, you know, and then crap on it for a while. They put up with me, you know? They keep coming back, you know? So shout out to them, keeping it going. Much love. Join the Nerdvengers today. It'll be the best decision you ever make in your lifetime. Not financial advice, but you will become incredibly wealthy if you do it. It'll make you a little bit taller, stronger, faster. You know, your results may vary, but it will ultimately improve your life in almost every tangible way. It's like finding the fountain of youth and a winning lottery ticket all at once. Join the Nerdvengers today. Shut your mouth and do it. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's see what in tarnation y'all are saying. What in tarnation are y'all saying? So Dr. Cool was first in with a $5 holla, said, diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Much appreciation, brother. We will do a diamond tier stream very soon. Kendall said he's going into the movie right now. He's probably watching it right now. I wonder what part he's at. I wonder what he's going to think about it. We'll talk more in different chats and everything next week, etc. Low Lives with a $5 holla says, with a robot emoji, show me what you got. 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 It's a banger of a song right there. Russell with a $10 holla says, super fun movie. Loved the cosmic lore. Action was solid. Kingo was good comic relief. I really liked Kingo. PC scenes were nuts. Won't be in top 10 MCU list, but definitely one that I can always put on in the background. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's like, in some ways it was better than I was expecting, and in some ways it was worse than I was expecting. Like, I think I'll probably land at like a 6.5 out of 10. I have to see it again to see how I feel about it. I think it's going to be really interesting the second time I watch it, to be honest. But, yeah, there's a lot I liked. And the third act to me was just kind of sloppy. So, Billy the Kid with a $5 holla says, I loved Eternals. My only disappointment was that Kingo bitched out of the final fight. Also, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Josh. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.! What is it? What is that? I've never heard of this. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Never heard of it. Don't know what it is. Probably a DC thing. Kingo did bitch out of the final fight, didn't he? That's kind of interesting. I wonder where he's at. What's he doing? He's going to shoot more documentaries? I thought his character was absolutely hilarious, dude. Really well done. KRB5263 with a $5 holla says, I actually didn't mind the third act. I actually enjoyed it. It's just the movie I thought was meant to answer questions, but more questions was raised. Cool. I'm glad you liked it. I appreciate the support. Yeah, look, different strokes, different folks, man. I stand by what I said. I strongly feel that the third act was pretty sloppy and messy, and I think that's probably where a lot of sort of critics were coming from. But ultimately, it's a really fun movie, and yeah, I liked it. So, agree to disagree on that. Dorian Trussell with a $20 holla says, and that's very generous, man. Thank you. Says, Kit Harington's Black Knight, huge potential with the Ebony Blade. I agree with that. The MCU's Jon Snow maybe clashes with Moon Knight, possibly Merlin introduction, Excelsior, Shang-Chi, and Jungle Cruise free on Disney Plus November 12. That's true. That's true. I'm excited to check. I'm excited to check out Shang-Chi. I just had a glitch in the Matrix. Maybe I'm an Eternal. Yeah, I'm excited to check that out on the 12th again. And I've never seen Jungle Cruise, so maybe we'll check that out as well. Dude, Black Knight is going to be dope. I think there's so much intriguing stuff they could do with that sword slowly corrupting him. That could be really, really fun. So appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Thank you, man. Stormy says with a $2 hello, says, Pips resembled 2005 Spiderwick Chronicles CGI, though. Are you saying you didn't like the CGI on Pip? I thought it was alright. I didn't think it was like anything great, but I didn't think it like broke the vibe of the scene of the character to me. I thought it was alright. And it's fun that he's like all drunk and stuff, Empire Comics with a $5 holla says, if the Eternals are basically synthetic humanoids and Thanos is an Eternal, does this make Thanos a synthetic being? I believe it does. Until I get another explanation, I'm going to have to say yes. It makes him an Eternal or a synthetic being. Although, and maybe this could explain more, but the idea of Star Fox, like knowing he's an Eternal, I don't know, it's interesting. It's possible that some of the Eternals already woke up, ended up actually, integrating with either deviants or other humanoid-type creatures, having actual children, something like that. Maybe something like that's happening. Who knows? I mean, technically, Cersei did turn Sprite into a human at the end of the movie. So maybe it's possible that he's not robotic. I don't know. Max Ross says with a $5 hello, says, Thanos not diminished, but I have questions. Is he a robot? Part robot? How about his brother? Why was he able to act independently if he was Eternal? I agree. A lot of questions, man. We're not sure. Maybe we'll get some answers. Hopefully we'll get some answers about that. But yeah, that part to me was like a little bit strange. I was like, okay. That's, that's interesting. I see what you're doing there. Trev says with a $5 holla, the MCU needs to adapt 90s Marvel real bad. Alex Ross's first big-time work. They need the regular person perspective real bad. Are you saying it's like getting a little too floaty and not grounded? Is that kind of what you're saying, brother? I think that, you got multiverse, you got cosmic stuff. I think, street level stuff is obviously still really fun. I think you'll get a lot of that. Thunderbolt's coming, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, etc. Even the Supernatural will likely mostly take place on Earth. So I think they have both going on. Maybe it's just the sequence of films and projects that we've had as of late that are sort of giving that impression. But I understand your opinion. Carl, with a $2 hello, says, this movie diminished Avengers more than Thanos. That's kind of interesting. I guess I can see where you're coming from with that. It's a weird mixed bag for me. Overall liked it, but there's just some questions. The recontextualization is super hard. You know what I mean? It's like, here's what it really is. And you're just like, whoa. So, yeah, interesting. Ross says with a $5 holla, says, I liked it a lot, but very different. understanding of rotten score. I got Shang-Chi over Eternals, over Black Widow thus far for MCU Phase 4. Den of Nerds, Unimind. LOL, take my money. Hey, yeah, appreciate the support, man. And yeah, we got a Den of Nerds Unimind here. I will say, that feels pretty right for me as well, like with Shang-Chi at the head of the pack so far for the movies. And I do like Eternals more than Black Widow. Although I will say, again, Black Widow is a more consistent movie. You know what I mean? But Eternals is so much more ambitious. Like, dude, guys, like, I don't know if this is coming across the right way or not, but like, I was literally 2/3 of the way through the movie. My mind was blown. Like, I was like, dude, I love this. Like, I don't just like it, I love this. I was like, this is incredible what she was able to do with these characters with a limited time and just put it all together. I was intrigued. I thought the lore was cool. The science fiction aspects were dope. The effects were incredible. I was like, this is incredible. It was just the third act that I was like, man, it's just really not well executed. You know what I mean? It's not a functional problem with the characters. It's not a functional problem with even really the plot. It's editing, really. It's like an editing issue. And unfortunately, it did take me out of the movie a little. Where I was like, what the fuck? Like, so that's what it is. But overall, man, a very fun movie. So, yeah, I would have to say I like it more than Black Widow. I think it was fun. Quentin Lee with a $10 holla says, someone in the Spoilers channel pointed out in the comics it was a Lars that wanted the Eternals to evolve like the Deviants in the comics. So that may be explained. Whoa! That's super cool. Didn't know that. That's fun. A Lars meaning Thanos' poppy. Yes, I got you on that one. Dude, that's fun. So, hey, there you go. That could be some of the explanation right there. And I actually like that a lot. And that could actually lead into more of Thanos' motivation and what he was actually seeing out there in the universe when it comes to the Celestials. That's cool. That's cool. Brian Wadalowski says, pretty sure she says the blip causes the slowdown, brother. Not that it was his plan to do so. Yeah, so she does not say that it was his plan to do so. What she says was Thanos wiped out half the life in the universe, slowing down the emergence. That's, I believe, almost verbatim what she says. You could take that in a couple of different ways. It could be like, oh, it just happened to slow down the emergence, but subject predicate, it kind of is implied that was his motivation, right? So we don't know for sure. It's ambiguous, but I think it's a little bit of a hint at that as a possibility. But appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Enix Seth says with a $5 holla, says, hey, Josh, I think Eternals was great. I didn't go into the movie thinking it was action-packed and mainly a lore movie, something we haven't had before. Fair. Totally a fair take. I feel like the lore is fun in the movie. The lore is one of the best parts of the movie. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you liked it. It seems like a lot of you guys really liked it, and that's awesome, man. That's great. Again, I liked it. Michael Smith says with a $5 holla, when the Celestial popped up on Earth, I was waiting for show me what you got. I loved it, though. Chivalry isn't dead. Yeah. Yeah, right? Wouldn't that have been funny? Like, show me what you got. The Celestials do come back to judge Earth every so often, and so that's very fun. And from the comics, I guess I was a little just confused as to, like, so he's here grabbing up the Eternals. I'm gonna use your memories to judge the planet, but I don't have the power or ability to do it all in the moment. I left the stove on, so I'll be back. You know what I mean? I was a little like, what? Okay, all right. Mossma says, ignore me. I'm here for gambling funds. All good. In fact, let's do a fun thing. What should we do? 2,000? Let's give everybody currently watching 2,000 nerd coin. Just because I love you guys. Just because I'm probably pissing some of you guys off. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. Diamond Joe says for $2 holla, says check out the drawing contest on the BBS. Win $25. Let me see if I can pull that up. Where's the drawing thing? Where's it at on there? Whoa, a lot of Green Lantern stuff being posted. Wait, what? It locked me out of the BBS. The fuck? What in tarnation is going on? Okay, now we're in there. Some fun Enchantress art and some Green Lantern art. How do I find the drawing contest? Is it its own board? Okay, drawing contest is its own board. Okay. Trying to load it up right now. It's having trouble loading. I'll check that out in just a second. Diamond Joe. Guys, make sure you go to thedenofnerds.com. Check out what we're doing with the BBS website. It's super fun. It's a nice forum for you guys to post a bunch of fun stuff. Make a little coinage. Make a little bit of crypto by engaging, coming back to the website, purchasing posts as NFTs, etc., etc. It's a fun sort of experimental winter wonderland of creativity and crypto. Super fun. Go check that out. Kulahai with a $5 holla says, cringed a bit at second post-credit reveal. Ebony dude named Blade spoke when Jon Snow touched the ebony blade. Dad joke status. Great stuff, Josh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate the support. Ari Kalish with a $5 holla says, Josh, ever discuss doing a watch party or breakdown for when these movies drop on Disney Plus? Take my money. Ari, maybe, bro. Like, maybe. I mean, look, at this point, I feel like, especially as we head towards Hawkeye and then Book of Boba Fett, I mean, we're going to be doing so many watch parties. That's like 14 weeks straight of watch parties, of very early streams and all these different things. So, look, I got to just watch out for my own personal bandwidth. I would love to be hanging out more, doing a bunch more streams and stuff like that. But I also wish we had 48-hour days, you know? So if we had 48-hour days, bro, and I had just so much more time, for sure, I would love to do that. Appreciate you. And maybe at some point we'll do a consistent rewatch kind of thing, or do at least one big watch party where we watch some stuff together. But, yeah, I'm kind of holding out until we get into the new shows. Low Lives with a $10 holla says, kinda expected Earth to actually crack open and end. We find out it's a different Earth universe timeline, and Fastos left bracelets, 10 rings here, found to the... Oh, dude, that would have been wild. So he was saying he expected Earth to end, those bracelets to be the 10 rings, and then new Eternals pop up on Earth and it starts the whole thing over again. That would have been mind-blowing, dude. So appreciate the support and appreciate that. Let's see here. Lucas Tex Venture with a $10 holla. Very generous. Says, take my money. Have a great weekend. Thank you, brother. I hope you're doing well over there. Hope everything's Gucci on your end. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. Stormy with a $2 holla says, Makari's powers were awesome. That deaf scream made me cry. Aw, man. Don't cry, Stormy. Don't cry. It'll be okay. Don't cry, bud. It'll be all right. You'll be okay. Don't cry. All right, let's do some call-ins. I'm going to start a thing on the Discord. If you are a Nerd Venger member, head on over to the Discord. I'm going to start a stage right now called Call-Ins. Boom. Get on in there. Let's see what y'all's got to say. All right, I'm going to bring on them on. And let me adjust.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, man? You are live. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I bought my first comic books out of town.
Nice. What'd you get?
I got House of M 1. I got Secret Wars 1. I got God Love Man Kills 1.
Nice.
And I got Secret Invasion Saga.
Dang, bro. There's some good pickups, man. That's nice.
Man, I was looking for a Secret Empire and a Civil War. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, sometimes those are tricky, but I love going around trying to find good, finds at like a little comic shop or even like a flea market or something like that. Like I remember I got my Silver Surfer #1 at like a little flea market in North Carolina back in the day,
Ooh,
and I only paid $25 for it, dude.
dang, that's
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
nice.
So, did you see Eternals yet?
No, I'm seeing it tonight.
Okay, right on. Did you have any question or comment about either anything we talked about or anything else going on in the nerdy world? It's been a pretty wild week with news.
Um, I'm thinking that like this whole Spider-Man thing,
Mhm.
it might be a genius move, but it's gonna cause a lot of anxiety.
Yes, you're referring to the cutting out of Toby and Andrew from the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. And yeah,
Mhm.
so you're kind of saying like it's a genius move, but it's going to cause a lot of anxiety. I kind of agree. I'm sort of split on it myself. Like I think it's really, really smart, but I can also totally understand Sony's perspective, right? Like where they're like, dude, we paid a ton of money to get these actors.
Mhm.
I want grandmas and skeptics and people that aren't we want everybody to go check this out. And it's almost like Feige has to convince them that the point of his frustration, that what keeps him up at night lately has been the fact that everybody already knows. And that's pushing the conversation and pushing the hype level for the film itself. So yeah, no, it is a pretty wild scenario. Are you gonna see it Spider-Man opening weekend?
Of course, I'm probably gonna buy my tickets early.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Um,
I think one of the coolest parts will be able to like see them together for the first time in the theater with like an audience and stuff. Like I do think that's going to be really cool. So as conflicted as I am about it, I am excited for that experience.
yeah, and I think that this movie is gonna be amazing, but I don't know what like your normie MCU fan thinks this movie is. Like, do
Yeah.
they think it's Spider-Man versus Doc Ock?
Right. Yeah. I suppose so. I mean, technically speaking, it could just be Tom Holland versus all these other villains, right? And so like there could be something like that going on, and they just doubt that they'd be able to get Andrew and Toby in for the film. So that could be it.
But I mean, I trust Marvel, and I trust that they're gonna do us right.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a fantastic movie, and I think it's gonna be a sort of monumental moment for Marvel and for nerdy fans in general. Let me ask you one more question, and then we'll get
Mhm.
somebody else in here. So
All right.
it's been talked about that the movie's being delayed in a lot of
Mhm.
other marketplaces. It was delayed in Japan. It was delayed in the Philippines into January. What do you think of that? Do you think it's possible that it would be delayed in the United States or what?
I mean, it could be possible, but I know there were other movies that didn't even like release at the same time in the same countries.
True, true.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if like that means we're not gonna get it in December, but I hope so.
yeah, I know. Well, at this point, I'm gonna take you out of here, brother. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate the call. I'll speak on that for just a second. Then let's get Stormy in here. I'm sure he has some words. So I think that is a very interesting thing that's going on. It could just be a like marketing decision where they're like, this market will be more open at this point. It's interesting. I think the tale of Spider-Man No Way Home and its actual box office take is going to be the biggest story of this year as far as what really is the future of filmmaking, box office take in general. It's pretty wild. Like if this movie underperforms, it'll send a chill and a shiver down the spines of many people in Hollywood, and Sony will be in a really weird, precarious situation. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's pretty freaking wild. All right, let's get him in. Stormy, I'm pulling you in. What's up, brother?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am good, man. I was thinking about you a lot. As I went into the theater, I kept seeing visions of Stormy everywhere. So yeah, it was pretty fun. So
Must have been creepy.
I mean, a little bit. It was fun. It was in fun, but I kept looking over my shoulder and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah, man. I'm glad you liked the movie, man. Like I had some real anxiety that I had to watch like streams for 3 weeks in a row with someone who like doesn't like the movie. So I'm glad you liked it, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that would have been a weird situation. And to be completely honest with you, like I think I liked it more than I thought I would. It's weird because honestly, it's like all the pieces of the movie are really good. Like the characters are good, the action is good, the effects, the lore, all this stuff is really good. I just really have an issue with how they brought it home. And I think that for me, it's like you know, if they had just done that, and I feel like there's all sorts of ways they could have solved those problems, then really we could have been looking at the best MCU movie ever made. I think there's
Hmm.
a great film, not a good film, a great film that's sort of in this movie. You know what I mean? But they didn't. I feels like they just didn't take that extra step at the end to just polish up the final part of it. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie, and I'm really excited to talk more about like the lore and some of the stuff moving forward, and those kind of things. So
I mean, I definitely agree with you on the point of the third act, and I think this is what that rumor was talking about. That like Kevin Feige and Chloe Zhao had like struggles to like about like the final cut of the movie that Feige wanted to edit it in another way than Chloe Zhao, and Chloe Zhao got her way.
yeah,
So maybe if they let like Kevin Feige intervene a little more, like the third act could have been a little more refined. But in my opinion, like the third act, in my opinion, wasn't that big of a problem. I agree with the fact that the Icarus thing was maybe a little bit too long, and it got cringe at some points. But like this movie is an 8 out of 10 for me,
nice.
so I have it very high in my list for Marvel movies. So, but I mean, I know I'm a Marvel shill, so I know many people will have this movie a little bit lower.
Yeah,
I have two questions for you.
yeah, hit me.
So I like the movie. I like the post-credit scenes. Everything was fine. Here, here's one point that I have with the movie.
Okay,
Like, look, the Celestials are definitely big in the comics, but they aren't like planet big. Like, how are the Eternals and like maybe some other like superhero teams like the Avengers, the X-Men? How are they at some point going to defeat these guys?
yeah,
Like,
that's yeah.
they're a little too big in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's a good point, and maybe it's just Arisham. Maybe it's just him that's that big. But you're right. Like like the mass, and I was a little weirded out by like so he just pops up and there's no like if something that big were to pop up that close to Earth, it would like pull Earth off its axis and like all these different. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge
Yeah.
gravitational pull. So like that was a little bit strange to me as well. It's possible that he's not actually there, that it's like a projection or something like that. But then that begs the question of like,
Oh, haven't I didn't think of that.
yeah, but the only problem with that is then what's the difference between when he was like is because he was communicating with her before, like why did he tangibly grabs them off of Earth, right? So there's a little bit of stuff like there that's confusing. It could just be Erisham himself that's that big, and maybe the other Celestials are not that big because even the one that's getting birthed, Tiamat from Earth, doesn't seem like it's as big as Erisham. So
Yeah, Arishem is the prime celestial after all, so that could be that you could be right in that. Yeah.
yeah. What's your other question, my
Here's,
guy?
here's yeah. So I hear a lot of people saying that like Crow is a underused villain, and I definitely agree with that. I think the way he went out against Tina was definitely like that wasn't justice for that character, to be honest. Like he was just getting cool with him evolving.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like I don't know if you picked up on this, but I don't know if you know that Tina and Crow have an actual relationship in the comics.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So here's the thing: you have when Tina is holding Tina, like he says, like, "Do you remember?" And then Tina kills him. She slices him to death, and then Tina gets like this point of like realization, and she says like, "I do remember." And then it cuts back to like the fight scene with Makari and Icarus.
Hmm.
So does that mean they had a relationship on like a previous like Earth that got destroyed, and were the deviants also there, and was he also there? I don't know
Yeah.
what's up with that.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. So maybe that's why he was sort of ultimately kept in the film to sort of set something up in the future because if I'm being honest, like I don't understand the point of that character at all in the movie. Like you could have had the whole movie with just deviants and it's still like everything still functions and works. So it almost feels like he's something left over from a different version of the movie that they just didn't want to cut. You know what I'm saying? Because like his evolving and all that sort of stuff, it literally adds nothing to the movie. It might have just been something that was so prevalent in one version of the film that they couldn't cut him completely out, and so they just decided to kind of keep him in. It's also possible that there is a macro plan, and that's something going on with the evolution of the Eternals and them becoming more organic. That maybe that has something
Hmm.
to do with the Deviants, could have something to do with Athena. That would be cool. I'd be into that. So
Can I say one more thing
yeah,
before I
hit me,
go?
hit me.
All right. Now that we know that the Eternals are not coming from Earth, like how are they going to do the X gene in the MCU? Because like that was a big thing with the Eternals, like that the X gene stem from like the uh the things that the Celestials did to humankind back in the day when they created the Eternals and the Deviants. So how will that work now?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I'll answer it. I'm gonna take you out of here, brother, as I answer this. Okay, I
Cool.
appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. So that's a great point, and I think that there's a lot of like head scratching things going on with the new version of the Eternals. Because yes, it had to do with so the Celestials come and mess with humans. Originally the Eternals are an offshoot. They're very similar to the mutants and the Inhumans. They are created from early humans, right? And then they leave Earth, they go to live on Titan. So it's interesting. I don't know what the full explanation is here. Obviously, the X gene is still going to be a thing. So the X gene is still going to be a thing. Perhaps this is something that will still be explained through Celestials. Maybe the Celestial being birthed at the end of this film will activate X genes that are out there. Also, with something like Secret Invasion and the Kree experimenting on humans and the possibility of that, the possibility of us meeting some Skrull that are also mutants, which is something that's sort of rumored out there for Secret Invasion. There's a way they could do it, but it's definitely going to be different. It's definitely going to be changed from what it was before. So I don't know, man. That it's a great point. I'm not exactly sure what they'll do, but I think that they do have a plan. It's just obvious that it's different than what was in the comics. So Dab, let's bring you in, bruh. I'm bringing you in, Dab. Dab, you're live. Hello.
Hey, sorry, I don't know how to get it on speaker. I'm holding it to my ear now.
All good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Good, 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 good. Did you check out the movie yesterday?
Yeah, I saw it at 9:30. I didn't get home until like 1 a.m.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Oh God, me and my friend loved it, but there's a couple small things. One thing I don't think you've talked about yet is I swear Druig said something about 7,000 years on this planet whenever they were still in a flashback. Did you get anything like that?
Yeah, I do think that he says something like that. Yeah, it could be just a continuity error, but yeah, I'd have to watch that again. I'll keep an eye out for that when I do go back because he says it's like it's like right when he leaves, right? And he takes that whole fighting, all those people that are fighting in front of the temple, he just leaves and takes them to be his village. Like that's the part you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's when they're looking down at all of them and they're all fighting and stuff. Yeah, he says
Yeah.
something 7,000 years on this planet, and then you're like, wait, isn't this supposed to be a flashback?
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. It's possible though that if the conquistadors were there at that time, it is technically still all of those because we're talking about a couple hundred years from where we're at now, which would still technically be like within, if you're counting in thousands, like it still could be that same,
Okay.
kind of idea.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. I'll have to look back at that again. And then, is there something else you caught? You said?
I mean, not necessarily caught, more of an opinion on the. I thought that was supposed to be Star Fox at the end. He says his name's Arrows. Is this supposed to be the same person?
Yes, Eros is known as Star Fox. They're the same person for sure. So
Okay, yeah, I didn't really like the, especially with Pip the Troll. It seemed like they had some weird CGI with both of them, like they didn't finish it in time.
yeah, it's possible, man. It's possible it just wasn't as cleaned up as it could be. I know a lot of people have been talking about the Pip the Troll CGI. So yeah, it's possible that it's something they had and they didn't fully clean up. I'm not sure. Like maybe they have a different standard for like post credit scenes and live action movies because there's even some post credit scenes in the Infinity Saga that like actually can't have happened. So like the one where Doc Strange meets uh Thor and he's filling up the beer. If you watch Ragnarok, there's no way that post-credit scene could have actually happened because there's no gloves. They're meeting for the first time at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I remember there was a bunch of different reshoot stuff going
Mhm.
around with that scene and stuff.
Yeah.
But and then same with like the way the Tesseract looked, and I think
Mhm.
I want to say it was Thor 1, the post credit scene. Whenever Loki is pretending to be Selvig, it's like super dull in that shot, and it's kind of like an inconsistency that they never went back and fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because as
Yeah.
good as Marvel is, and I think they are the best at this, right? Like they've nailed it to a degree that I don't think anybody's even close. But yeah, they still have slip ups, they still have continuity errors, and they still make
I mean,
some mistakes.
you forgot about Shamuk though. Shamuk is better than them.
Shamuk. Oh yes. Well, Shamuk is the truth, right? I mean, hopefully he'll be not just working with Lucasfilm, but helping out Marvel Studios moving forward and just making everything clean and pristine.
Exactly. All right. Last thing I wanted to say is
Yes.
that I honestly forgot what the last thing I was going to say, but I honestly think that it's cool that they left that the whole Celestial sitting there, and I feel like they could do a lot with that in future storylines.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild, dude. Like it's just a stone celestial head just chilling,
Mhm.
And I was trying to wrap I'm not a scientist, but I was kind of trying to wrap my head around the idea of something breaking through the Earth's crust to that degree and not causing like total calamity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was like, wait a minute, like how does that work? But maybe like by it
Well,
being stone, it like actually reseals it or something like that.
Well, I thought that it was ice. Me and my friend thought they froze him, and then when I was watching your breakdown or your reaction on the way home, I'm like, "Oh shit, is it actually stone?"
Yeah, I think it's stone. Yeah, I think that she turns him into stone. Yeah.
Can she turn stuff into vibranium? Is the question. Whenever she changed that shed or whatever into metal, I was like, "Dude, that's vibranium."
I bet she could, man. And I think that like her power is like the way I'm viewing it is connected to like actual pure creation in a very similar way to Wanda, right? Like that this because she's able to transmute stuff that's matter into matter. And I think spontaneous creation is what Wanda can do. She can actually just create new matter, but she can also transmute stuff as well, right? So she's changing like the little drone into the helicopter and different things like that. So she has a similar ability, and I do think it's connected to like a fundamental principle of the universe. You know what I mean?
Well, what about those embers that they introduced in the What If series, the embers of Genesis or whatever? Could that have something to do with her origins? Like the Celestials have that and they use that.
Remind me where that's at in the What If show. Why am I blanking on that?
God, why am I blanking on that? It's in the first couple episodes. What did they use? Look in chat. I bet people are already saying
Okay.
it now.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure, but I think as time goes on, there will be stuff from What If that we realize is like a pretty big deal and like setting big stuff up for the future. So, yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. But it's fun. Like I think one of the best things about Marvel is like now we have these discussions and now we like put our brains together and try to figure out what it means, and like speculation's really fun. So it's exciting, and nothing was broken here, right? Like I don't think the movie, even though it is the first like rotten one or whatever, nothing was broken here. I think the vast majority of Marvel fans are going to embrace it. So I think we're good. You know what I mean?
I mean, and they did also kind of make DC canon now, mention Batman and Clark by name.
Yep, Batman and Clark and Superman by name, which is really interesting. And some people think there's a macro play for a DC versus Marvel crossover down the line, and Feige's like setting up the seeds for it. But either way, I think that's pretty fun. Any last minute things you want to say before I take you out of here, brother?
Nah, I've already said like 5 things. Have someone else in.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna disconnect. Guys, I think we're gonna call it there on the calls. I see some people in the audience of the thing. Next time, guys, you just got to figure out how to raise your hand, and then I can bring you on from there. But we'll hang out in chat for just a little bit more, and then we'll call it a stream. Like I said, bunch of fun videos coming at you guys later today, and we will be streaming tomorrow to watch the cartoon. So actually, let me set up this poll real quick alike here. Let me see if I can set up this poll, because I have a list here from the Nerd Ventures thing that we did yesterday, and then we do have a couple more super chats that I'll get into, and then I'll hang out in the chat for a little bit too. So. Where's the list? Okay, here we go. So I'm about to put this poll up. Wow, that's pretty loud, huh? All right, here we go. Create poll. What cartoon should we watch tomorrow morning? Okay, so first option, 90s Iron Man. Second option, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Third option, Unlimited Spider-Man. Fourth option, Justice League Unlimited, which is a super fun show, actually. And then we'll do Batman Beyond. All right, boom. Boom. Just made the poll. If you're going to be hanging out tomorrow, or if you just want to let your voice be heard on what you think we should be watching, go over to the community tab and check out that poll. Let's see here. Dab Matt. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I think we got you in there, yeah? That was you, right, Dab, at the end? You said $5 holler says, why are you skipping me, Josh? I've been on the stage for 40 minutes waiting. Never made Friday streams. I think that was you that we just got in, yeah? Let me know in chat. We got you, right? And then Pretty Nikki says with a $5 holler, do you think they will bring Zhao back for the sequel? Also, do you think they will let the next director have as much creative control? Also, take my money. Okay, great two-part question. I just want to make sure we got Dab in there. Give me a second here. We got him in there, right? That was him? Yeah? Right? Wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Did I miss Fifi's too? Okay, right on, Dab, Matt. Appreciate you, brother. Fifi with a... Well, let me give me 1 second. Let me talk about Nikki's question. I think it's yet to be determined. We'll have to wait and see how the fans react to the movie overall. What's the box office? If it doesn't make 300 million worldwide, I don't think they bring her back. And honestly, I really like Chloe, but she does sort of come with some baggage, regardless of what you think about the state of the world, et cetera, et cetera. China not going to play nice with her ever. Certain countries not going to play nice with her ever now. So, Marvel is sort of at a weird spot where they have to decide. They got to decide, what are you doing? Do you want to try to cater to all these other marketplaces? Do you want to make movies that are mostly for a North American audience, or at least North American sensibilities? I think they're at a weird inflection point. I'm not sure how to answer that, but I will say money talks. If the movie makes a lot of money, they'll probably move forward with her. If the movie underperforms, they might not. Will they give the next director as much creative control? I don't know how to answer this question because, for instance, I think right now they're having a lot of trouble with Thor 4, and I feel like Taika just maybe maybe went a little too Taika. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's here's what I hope. I hope they can strike a balance between creative vision and making an incredible commercial product. Because, look, I like these other directors and everything, but at the end of the day, the consistency of the product is what won over time. Feige's not just the best producer of all time. It's by a long shot. By the way, did you see Nate Moore was a producer on this movie? Produced by Kevin Feige and Nate Moore. I think, unless I'm mistaken, that's the first time we've ever seen that. Feige is usually it's one producer, produced by Kevin Feige. This time, Nate Moore and Kevin Feige were both given produced by credit. I think Nate Moore might be being positioned to maybe be a takeover eventually for Feige. It's either Victoria Alonso or it's Nate Moore, both of whom I think are incredibly talented individuals. Will they give as much creative control? I'm not so sure they should. I'm not so sure they should. I mean, look, as a fan and as a fanboy of Feige, I'll answer it like this. I want Feige, for as long as he's in the chair leading the whole thing, take full control. Fuck him. That's what I think as a fanboy. Like, take full control. Fuck him. Because I think we are in a rare window with this incredible talent. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's kind of my answer. I appreciate the question as always, Nikki. Thank you so much. Wait, what's the first one you did, Fifi? My bad. My bad. Let me pull this up. Okay, Fifi says, for the $10 holla, very generous, says, Eternals was cool. I only have one big problem with it. Where was Crow's sunglasses and fluffy cape? I know. What a fun design from the comics. And for him to be what he was kind of a disappointing. But yeah, I like the movie as well. I think it's really, really fun. I do agree that... yeah, I agree that it was fun. I just think Crow was super underutilized. You know what I mean? And it's just a little weird, but it is what it is. I appreciate the support. Darth Bayou says, I don't think your nerd coin drop worked, FYI. At least not for me. Might not be working. Have a great day, Josh. Happy Friday. All right, let me look in the chat. Did you guys get... And Harris, I'll touch on that in just a second. Did you guys get your 2000 nerd coin? Let me know. Yes or no in the chat. Put it in the chat right now. Did you get it? Did you get it? Let me try again. If it's not working, I'll try to figure it out and fix it. I just tried it again. Let me know. I did 3,000 this time. Got that one? Cool. Yeah, there's a Nerdvengers Prime stream in about an hour at 1 p.m. We're going to talk Nerdvengers Prime stuff. Looks like some people got that one. That's good. Harris, I'll get into that in just a second. Let me check out these other things here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Darth. Fifi follows up, says $10 more because you mentioned Justice League Unlimited. Oh, shit. Justice League Unlimited, Justice League Unlimited, Justice League Unlimited. Just kidding. And I just want a Snyderverse live-action version of that show. Ooh, that would be really, really fun. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, that's a great show. Maybe we'll check it out if enough people vote for it. But regardless, you guys check it out. It's a really good cartoon. Really, really good. Fifi, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you. Fabian with a $5 says, yo, Josh, do you think Icarus is really dead or they'll bring him back at some point? I hope they bring him back at some point. I did think it was a little odd. Like, this is something Elisa and I we couldn't get our heads wrapped around. We're like, why did he fly into the sun exactly? Like, he wants to protect her. That's his whole thing. He knows they're in danger now. What? So he kills himself. Interesting. Did not see that coming. Interesting. So, I don't know, man. I hope he's not dead. I hope they bring him back. Maybe there's something in the sun. Maybe he left the oven on in the sun. You know what I mean? So, holy shit, Fifi. I was just kidding. Very generous. Holy cow. $50 holla says, stop saying Justice League Unlimited. I think that's the voice I'm hearing you say this in. Stop saying Justice League Unlimited. Holy mother loving mothers. Very generous. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Harris McGrady, member for 10 months. Thank you so much for the support, man. Thanks for hanging with me, man. Says IMDb Pro states Eternals as earning $7.6 million currently. That has to be wrong, right? A Marvel film has to be making more money than that opening night, I think. So technically, this is a preview night. This isn't considered the opening night. But Yeah, I think that's accurate. I heard maybe 10 million, but I think that's accurate, man. Friday and Saturday will be the bigger takes. Friday will be a really big one, and then Saturday will be a really big one, and Sunday will teeter off. So I think that could be accurate, my man. Yeah. Quentin says Icarus went back to Aramish when he died. I think that's how Aramish knew what happened. Ooh, I like that. So when he dies, he goes back to the World Forge or something like that. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. I'm going to steal that. Put it in a vid. Was my theater full? Nah, bro. It was pretty light. Ryan. But we had a pretty good theater, though. Pretty good. I think a lot of people in my theater liked the movie. Arisham. Yeah. Arisham. Dude, it's just like me and Quentin said. Arisham. Calm down, everybody. Calm down, everybody. Everybody relax. Calm your butts. Yeah, chat's coming to get you, Quentin. Like being uploaded to the Matrix. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea, for real, That is a very good idea, bro. People clapped when Thena sliced and diced. That's always fun. I love when a theater gets into it, man. You know, I love it when a theater gets into it, for sure. All right, everybody. Much love, man. Much love. We got a couple really fun videos coming at you today and over the weekend. We will be watching some cartoons tomorrow morning. If you're not doing anything, if you're just looking for something to do on a Saturday morning, you know, we'll go at 10 a.m. So come on by. We'll watch some cartoons together for a couple hours. Big old UFC tomorrow night, too. I'm excited about it. Should be real fun. And then, guys, next week is going to be insanity. That Disney Plus day, like, get your coffee, get your water, get your food, you know, get whatever you need, because we're streaming all fucking day on Friday. Disney Plus day, the Tower is going to be broadcasting for hours and hours. It's going to be dope. So much love to all of you. Let me go over this. The Amethyst Bendu, 10 months, brother. Thank you so much for the support. Been hanging with me for a long time. I appreciate it. Maybe I'm tripping, but Kingo said that he knew young Thor. Yep, that's what he said. How is that? My theater in Seattle was full because it's possible Thor came to Earth as a young person and was doing some stuff on Midgard. I think that's what he's kind of saying there. So big old VV dropped it. Who do I got in the fights? It's too hard to say. Who should we should do a UFC watch party. I'll tell you what, I'll be chilling in the Discord a little bit. I'll chill with y'all in the Discord a little bit for the UFC. That's gonna be crazy. I think massive test for so many different people. Love Justin Gaethje. I like Michael Chandler a lot. Starting off with a bang. I don't know who to pick in that fight. Chandler's rise has been, you know, you got to give the dude a lot of credit. I don't know, man. I think honestly the most interesting fight is really going to be I forget how to say her name. Zhei Li, and Rose. That's going to be such an interesting fight. An incredible test for Rose. She could solidify true greatness with this win. Usman and Covington is really interesting because I actually do feel like this will be the. Here's the thing. We're gonna learn something about Kamaru Usman tomorrow. Okay? The better story is Covington wins, Usman comes back and you know, they do the rematch and it's like this big crazy thing. That would actually be better for the sport. It would be a better story. But for Usman's legacy and like watching him just get better and better has been insane. If he just dominates Covington, then he's really solidifying himself as like best pound for pound maybe ever. You know what I mean? Because Covington is no slouch. Like, he is actually an incredible athlete. And it's something interesting that Usman said at the press conference where he says, like, no, Covington's incredible. Like, he sort of spoke really highly of him, and he said it, but he just happens to live in a time where there was somebody better than him. And I mean, like, you know, that's like a Pippen Jordan, you know, a Larry Bird Jordan kind of thing. Like, dude, Bird was incredible. He just happened to play when Jordan was playing. You know what I mean? Magic Johnson was playing. Like, it's, I don't know. It's interesting to me. So I'm really interested. Tomorrow's, I'm excited for the UFC, baby. It's one of the best ones we've had in a long time. I'm excited, baby. I'm excited. It's going to be cool. All right, everybody. Much love. Much love to you all. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Man, I felt like that was a good one. Felt like that was a good one. You know, we were fair, we were stern, we had fun. You know, I was, of course, way too nitpicky. Did you guys know I went to film school, by the way? It's been a great week, man. It's been a great week. Much love to you guys. I'll tell you guys just a little story for the post-credit scene. We were at we went to eat before we went to the movie yesterday. And we just had like one of those really chatty bartenders, you know what I mean? And he was like hitting us up about like what do we do, like where are we from, et cetera, just like. And you know, I was like, yeah, well, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a full-time YouTuber and streamer and all this sort of stuff. And like he was just like blown away. He'd never met somebody that like, you know, makes a living off of like YouTube and content and stuff like that. And it was kind of a fun experience to be able to like think about that from like a fresh perspective, because like in some ways, I'm not saying like I take it for granted, but like you know, we wake up and we work, right? It was just really interesting to hear, you know, his perspective on it, and for him to just be like so shocked. And it was just another little like sign of like it's just such a blessing, and I definitely don't take it for granted at all. Like it's absolutely incredible what we get to do. And you know, you guys, it's a communal thing, and you guys, like, I don't even know, man, like y'all are just so kind, so supportive. Like we've been through some shit, you know what I mean? And it's just a fun way to go out and experience this nerdy stuff, and then sort of come back with our tribe and you know, talk about this kind of stuff. It's incredible, man. I really appreciate you guys with the bottom of my heart. And yeah, it's great. Oh, and Dag says, will you be checking out Arcane on Sunday? Next Level Animation, Riot Games even made a royalty-free album for streamers because of DCMA drama. Dude, that's sick. I will check out Arcane now that you said that, brother. I will check that out for sure. Much love to you guys. Really appreciate you. Man, go take care of yourselves, man. You know what I mean? Go take care of yourselves. Have a good-ass weekend. If you're coming by to watch some freaking cartoons tomorrow, then let's go. You know what I mean? It's going to be sick. And guys, next Friday, oh man, are we going to be having some fun next Friday. So, all right, y'all take care of yourselves. Much love.